For me, it's really about just saving time, basically, because I mean, most of that information is available, but it just saves me a lot of time to get the quickest way to get everything done, as well as some really valuable recommendations and tips that I would otherwise couldn't get that easily.
First of all, you can tell me what's your name and how did your life look like, or your day-to-day look like before you started with this program?
Yeah, so my name is Kai. I live in Shenzhen since 2 years, and I have a company where I help Western clients from America and Europe to develop products, bring them basically from the design stage over prototyping all the way to mass manufacturing, using a network of Chinese suppliers.
Okay, cool. So what made you interested in e-commerce? Were you interested in e-commerce after all?
Yeah, I was definitely interested because actually that part was mostly covered by my clients. So I develop, I run around in the factories, build those products, and then my clients make the most of the money by actually selling them. So I just want to extend that vertically and in that value chain, and basically also start selling by myself using actually my own products.
So, and what was your main, let's say, objection or challenge before joining this program? You were presented the opportunity to do this, and what was the thought where you weren't sure about? Where you're like, maybe, I don't know if I should or shouldn't do that. Like, what was the challenge for you with that?
Well, I mean, I've come across a lot of these courses from various Amazon sellers over build your financial freedom and start your laptop business at the beach or something. The reason I never did it, because I think you're just thrown in some online course with as well as in a Facebook group, and that's it. What I really liked about that was, first of all, you're physically here in Shenzhen. You're pretty cool guys, and yeah, you're also able to kind of kick me in the ass to push this forward. And I mean, for me, it's really about just saving time, basically, because I mean, most of that information is available, but it just saves me a lot of time to get the quickest way to get everything done, as well as some really valuable recommendations and tips that I would otherwise couldn't get that easily. So that was the main value that I saw, and that's why I joined.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then what was the thing you liked best about it? Like anything we did, what was the one thing you were like, okay, this is great, I like this the most?
I think the speed in which you're trying to really push everyone through it, because I mean, execution is the most important thing after all, and that's what you did pretty well, I think, as well as putting a lot of attention to detail. I think really explaining every step, so it's super easy, even if you have no experience, that you can follow up and do everything. Yeah.
Cool, appreciate that. But if there would be one thing that you would change about it or improve about it, what would that be?
Good question.
I like that nothing immediately comes to mind.
I mean, I was thinking about oftentimes it might make sense to actually do it in parallel, while you're actually showing it, that I could do it as well. But then if you have so many people, and then just some people are slower, and then that's also maybe not the best case, since everyone has to wait, or the faster guy people have to wait, and there's a lot more questions maybe coming up if someone has a problem. So after all, I think the concept itself is pretty good. Yeah, I mean.
Cool. Don't worry about it. Now that you know how to start an e-commerce business, obviously we're still gonna meet, and we're still gonna catch up, we're still gonna help for you to move to success, right? But now that you know the concept and how to do this, how to set this up, and where do you think you're gonna stand with it in about a year from
now? Yeah, I mean, my goal that I set at the beginning of this year was actually definitely to launch at least one successful product into the market and build a brand. I should have set my revenue goal, but I didn't when I did this, for this year at least. But I mean, it would be great to have achieve 5-figure sales total until the end of this year.
Great, cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can do that.
Yeah. let's see.
Cool. Of all the things you learned outside of e-commerce, do you think there's any other area or any other aspect where you would apply any of the knowledge you learned here?
I mean, I like the goal setting session in the beginning. I mean, I did partly of that, but I think it's always good to really focus on that and do it constantly, like also adapting over time.
Final question.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you go. Let's say you meet someone else who is also saying like, okay, these guys, I don't know, like all these online courses, and that you had that. What would you tell that person? That person's on the fence. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? I know there's all this stuff out there. Like, I don't know, it's quite expensive. Like, should I do it or shouldn't I do it? Well, what advice would you give that person?
I think it's clearly not for everyone. I think you really have to be. I think if you're just not like really comfortable using that many programs, because it gets like, if you really want to do it and you want to do it long term and well, you kind of have to have at least an affinity. I don't know how you call it, affine, like to be comfortable using like lots of programs and setting digital things up. And otherwise, it's going to be very painful to actually go through all that learning process. And
so sorry, if you're tech savvy.
Tech savvy, okay. Exactly. That's probably the best description. And you're gonna just hit so many barriers where probably you're gonna just lose your motivation after all. But other than that, I mean, nothing is easy, and like every business, if you want to do it well, takes time and effort. So I think it's a great way, especially it's a great thing that you can do that really doesn't have a cap, because you can just scale it really, really fast if you hit the right thing at the right niche. So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much for your questions.
All right.
Your answers.
Yeah.